Hello and welcome to Spotlight North Carolina Cooperative Extension. I'm your host, Rebekah Benton. North Carolina Cooperative Extension is made up of 100 counties, including the koala boundaries. We are comprised of two land-grant universities, NC State University and NC State University, and we love bringing groundbreaking research to you, our clients here in the county. Today I have with me Miss Meleah Evers. Meleah, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I heard that we're going to make some spicy stuff today.
Yes, I have two different spice blends that we're going to construct today, and one is a spicy, if you like things a little more spicy, and then one is a savory, just for saltier foods. But these spice blends don't have any salt, so if you're trying to watch your sodium intake, these are good substitutes to use to flavor your food.
That sounds great. I'm telling you, my mom could definitely use this because she is not a salt person, and so she would love like the recipes to use these.
Right, and a lot of people are kind of, hesitant to maybe use some because they've not, really experimented with a wider range of herbs and spices. So these are pretty good and pretty tasty. So we'll go ahead and get started putting these together. So the spicy one is the one that we're going to be starting with, and we have this one kind of already mixed together in this little container. So if you have any extra or spare spice containers hanging around, you might want to hold on to those so you can, mix up your own spice blends. So we're going to start with, well, that won't fit in there. A tablespoon of garlic powder, and I'm going to make a big mess probably here.
And there's a huge difference between garlic powder and garlic salt, right?
Yes, you want to use the garlic powder because it doesn't have, of course, the sodium in it. And so it's going to kind of defeat your purpose if you use the garlic salt instead of just the garlic powder. And if there are any of these herbs or spices that you don't really care for, you can just omit those from your spice blend. You don't have to use something that you don't really care for. So that's 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. Then you're going to use 1 teaspoon of your onion powder. And these are kind of level measurements.
So does it have to be too specific?
It doesn't have to be too specific. If you like, more garlic or onion flavor in your food, you can put more of something or less of something if you don't want it to be as spicy. This calls for a 1/2 teaspoon of your cayenne pepper, and like I said, if you don't want it to be really spicy, or if you want it to be more spicy, you can add certainly more to your recipe that you're going to mix together here. And then we have a teaspoon of black pepper. Gonna have to do 2 separate ones to fit my spoons in today.
Now, is this something that y'all make in class usually?
In our Steps to Health program, Take Control, we have constructed these and usually have a taste test so people can try them on some potatoes. And they can make their own to take home. It's not something they have to do at home, but certainly if they like them, they can make more. Okay. The next one is basil, but ours doesn't look so great, so we're going to skip that one today. And then we have sage. Sage is not probably my favorite spice to use, but that's what this one calls for. So you can, like I said, leave out certain ones that you might not care for, or add some that you do like. And that's a teaspoon of the sage and a 1/2 teaspoon of thyme.
And you've already got the studio smelling wonderful. Like I can smell all of that. It smells really nice.
All right, and then once you get all of those in there, you can close it up. I'll let you close that up for us and kind of give it a good shake.
Add the lid on it, right?
Yeah. And then actually you can taste it if you want to.
Okay.
After you get it all mixed up.
I should have brought like a cracker or something to put it on.
I should have.
Okay. I might just smell it because I don't want to lick my fingers on camera.
All right.
Ooh, that is nice. here.
Oh yeah, it does taste.
And that is
smell
the
good.
spicy blend.
That is the spicy blend.
Now, Meleah, can you tell our audience one more time the what goes in the recipe for these? That was the spicy one we just did.
Yes. You have 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of basil, 1 teaspoon of sage, and a half a teaspoon of thyme.
And again, one more time, let's talk about like what can it be used on. I remember you said something about roasted potatoes, and you talked about maybe other vegetables or
any other vegetable that you want to have some kind of spice or spicy taste to. You can add this over your roasted vegetables or sauteed vegetables. You can even add it to some of your meat dishes, beef or pork or chicken.
Okay.
So you can use it on anything,
I'm
really.
excited to try it.
Yes. You can take that one home actually with you when we get done.
I was hoping so.
Our next spice blend is going to be a savory, and this one doesn't have the spicy in it like the cayenne pepper. So if you like milder flavors, this might be a better option for you. And this one includes 2 teaspoons of your garlic powder. I might have to use a smaller spoon to get in here. I need 4 of these since I'm using the smaller.
Yes, that would be the right measurements.
Try not to make a mess. Yeah, doing this over a cutting board or something, you can kind of clean up a little easier, might be better. All right, so that's 2 teaspoons of your garlic powder. It has 1/4 teaspoon of your black pepper. Just a real small amount of that. You have 1/4 teaspoon of your paprika, and this is a little spicy, but not as spicy as your cayenne peppers.
There must be something wrong with the paprika when I buy it, because I can never tell. I use it on deviled eggs, but I can never really taste it.
You might try a cayenne pepper instead of your
Maybe I
paprika with your deviled eggs if you want a little more kick to them.
Maybe.
Because that's actually where the name came from.
Oh.
Yeah. So then we have 1/4 teaspoon of your thyme. And a half a teaspoon of oregano. And of course I didn't bring that one. How did I miss that one? And then you have a half a teaspoon of your sage.
We'll add it in later.
I have to add that one in when we get back to the office because I do have that at the office. So I'll let you put the lid on that and shake that one up and keep that one separate since we didn't have one marked.
That one says savory. This is that's
your
spicy one.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's get this one. And this one is not as spicy. This one's called savory.
Savory.
So if you're like a salt lover, is this the one you would want to use?
Yes.
That one smells nice too. I smell the garlic, and I smell I don't know, some of the onion in there.
Okay.
I like it. So I'm excited. So tell me, what do you normally put these on vegetables as well, or is it other things you put this one on?
Yeah, you can do these kind of on the same thing, roasted or sauteed vegetables. Any of your meats that you want to flavor and have a little more taste to. Anything that you would basically add salt to, you can kind of add a little bit of this to it to kind of give it some different taste and kind of accentuate some of the different flavors.
I've seen a lot of folks add salt to salad, and that was like, I know, like it was completely weird for me when I watched people put like salt and pepper on their salads, because I wasn't raised like that. So, we use salt, just never on a salad.
Right.
So it's going to be to taste.
People do like cracked black pepper on salads to kind of give them a little more pop. You can do things like lemon on vegetables, asparagus, and broccoli. It's really good because it really enhances the flavor So really and truly, it's kind of like a trial and error. Start with a few herbs and spices that you think you might like and kind of try those, just to kind of maybe experiment a little more than, you know, your salt and pepper or maybe garlic
Well, I was thinking,
powder.
I might have to try some of that on my salad to see what it,
Yeah,
if
can
it
even do
spices
that.
it up a little bit.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, even making your own marinades with herbs and spices and olive oil, you know, it's a really good option if you're trying to, like I said, avoid the salt. You can use some of the herbs and spices with a little bit of olive oil to give your meat some flavor if you like to use marinades and barbecue sauces and things, because they do have a lot of sugar in them too. So that would be a good way to cut down on some of those added things that might be in things that you purchase that are already made at the store.
Now, in some of your classes, what have been some of the reasons that people wanted to move away from salt?
Well, a lot of times if people have cardiac issues where high blood pressure or what have you, doctors will recommend like a low sodium diet. And you know, if they eat a lot of processed foods, dressings, or spices or sauces, those have a lot of either added sugar or salt to them. So if you make your own, you have more control over how much sodium or salt or sugar goes into those things that you flavor your food with. And a lot of times that's where your salt might come from. So, you know, making your own, it can be a little intimidating, but really you can do a lot with a little bit of olive oil and a few herbs and spices.
And do you have any suggestions on where they can get like a good, or where they can buy these spices at?
Honestly, my favorite place to buy herbs and spices, a little less expensive than on the baking aisle where the herbs and spices usually are. If they go to the international food section, you can typically find larger containers of herbs and spices at a reduced price. And you might even find some in little vacuum sealed bags. So having some of those extra little bottles would be helpful to maybe store the rest if you don't use it all at one time, to store those and keep those.
Now, is there a particular place that our audience could buy if they decided they wanted to purchase, you know, a container to make theirs on? I know Steps to Health, you know, with that class
Right,
that
with that
comes with it.
class.
So is there somewhere could they just
I don't know. They could probably find them on Amazon because you can find
you can
everything,
find everything on Amazon.
on the internet and on Amazon. But you can probably order some containers. I don't know if you have to order a large quantity, but if you want to make lots of different spice blends, it might be kind of a good thing to do.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. And one thing, I see in your paper here, and this is one thing when I go and I teach my youth. So in the past, I would do popcorn, and I would buy the popcorn seasonings they have on the shelf. And this would be a great idea to put on the popcorn instead of having to buy seasonings to do that. And I think that would give a great opportunity. So
Right.
maybe we'll try that.
And you know, one of my favorite things, you know, talking about that, like doing like the Parmesan cheese
Yes.
on your popcorn, or even if you like broccoli and cheese, instead of doing like the cheese sauce that's not the healthiest in the world, you could even do like the Parmesan on your
I've
broccoli.
never thought about that.
It's
That is
really
a good idea.
It's really good.
Like I'm just like, light bulb will just come on. It's like, ooh, I'm going to try that. So, well, Meleah, I just want to tell you, thank you so much for coming on here and sharing these spices. I'm excited. I know when we get back to the office, we're going to add some basil to one and some oregano to one.
Yes.
That we happen to miss out on. So anyway, again, thank you for sharing this. And everybody in the audience, thank you for joining us today on North Carolina, or Spotlight North Carolina Cooperative Extension. Hopefully you will try these recipes and enjoy them. And if you have any questions or have any questions about these recipes, absolutely give us a call at North Carolina Cooperative Extension, Columbus County Center. Our number is 910-640-6607. And everyone have a great day.